Imagine you are standing alone on a windswept hill in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The nearest city is 2,182 miles away. There is no other land in any direction for over 1,000 miles. And all around you, staring at you with hollow stone eyes, are nearly 1,000 giant figures. Nobody alive knows how they got there. That is where we are starting. This is Rapa Nui, Easter Island, a speck of volcanic rock in the southeastern Pacific, so isolated that the nearest inhabited place, Pitcairn Island, sits 1,189 miles away and has roughly 50 residents. The island belongs to Chile today, designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1995, but it was never really Chile's story to own. It belongs to the Rapa Nui people, a Polynesian civilization that crossed an ocean in canoes, settled one of the most remote places on Earth, and then, for reasons no one fully understands, began carving an army of giants out of a volcanic crater. The statues are called moai. Nearly 1,000 of them survive. The tallest standing one reaches 33 feet high. The heaviest weighs around 86 tons. That is heavier than 10 full-grown African elephants, cut from solid rock by people using only stone tools, no metal, no wheels, no cranes, no draft animals. Keep that weight in mind. It matters in a second. Archaeologists believe the Rapa Nui arrived somewhere between 800 and 1200 CE, with a 2007 study making a strong case for the later date. They built a civilization. They developed a written script called Rongo Rongo, one of only a handful of independent writing systems ever invented by humans. They farmed, they fished, and they carved. Over generations, they quarried hundreds of enormous figures from the soft volcanic tuff of Rano Raraku, a crater on the island's eastern side. Unfinished moai still lie there, half-born from the rock, frozen mid-creation, as if the island simply stopped breathing one day. But here is the question that has haunted researchers for 3 centuries. The quarry is in one place. The stone platforms called ahu, where the moai were meant to stand, are scattered all around the coast, sometimes miles away. There were no machines. There were no wheels. How did the Rapa Nui move 80-ton stone figures across rough volcanic terrain? The oral tradition of the Rapa Nui has always had an answer. The elders said the moai walked. They called it mana, spiritual power, and they said the ancestors themselves commanded the statues to move upright on their own feet, swaying from side to side like a man crossing a deck in rough water. Researchers heard that for years and filed it under legend. Then in 2012, something strange happened. Czech-American archaeologist Pavel Pavel, and later a team led by archaeologist Carl Lipo of Binghamton University and anthropologist Terry Hunt of the University of Oregon, actually tried it. They tied ropes to a full-scale concrete replica of a moai, heavy as the real thing. One set of ropes attached to the front, one to each side. Small teams pulled in alternating rhythms. The statue rocked, then it tipped, then step by step it shuffled forward, upright, exactly the way the Rapa Nui elders described. A 5-ton replica moved roughly 100 meters in under an hour, with a crew of fewer than 20 people. Lipo and Hunt published their findings and pointed to something no one had looked at closely enough before. The bases of the moai are not flat. They are slightly curved, rounded at the bottom, almost like a rocking chair's feet. That shape, they argued, was not accidental. It was engineered for exactly this kind of walking movement. But not every researcher agreed. That is the honest part. Archaeologist Joanne van Tilburg, who directs the Easter Island Statue Project at UCLA and has spent decades cataloging every moai on the island, conducted her own experiments using a horizontal sled and rollers. Her team moved a replica moai that way, laying it on its back and dragging it, which she argues would have required far fewer ropes and much less precise coordination. Her method works too. Both methods work. That is the maddening answer. And while researchers debate the how, the why carries its own shadow. The Rapa Nui cleared their forest to move the statues, burning and cutting the trees they needed for rope, for rollers, for food gardens. Land clearing and the arrival of the Polynesian rat, which ate the seeds of native palms, drove the island toward near-total deforestation. By the time Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen arrived on Easter Sunday, 1722, and gave the island its European name, the population had collapsed to an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 people, and many moai had already been toppled. Then came European diseases. Then came Peruvian slave raiders in the 1860s, who kidnapped roughly 1,500 Rapa Nui, including almost every person who could read Rongorongo. By 1877, only 111 native inhabitants remained on the island, a civilization reduced to a single page. The stones are still there, standing on the hillside, staring out to sea, watching an ocean that gave their makers no escape. Nearly 1,000 giants, cut with hand tools, moved by a method we still argue about, built by a people whose written language died before anyone could translate it. The Rapa Nui say the statues walked. In 2012, on a beach with ropes and a concrete replica, the statues walked again. Whether that is the whole answer, nobody can say for certain. The island has kept its secrets for a very long time. It is in no hurry to give them up.